Aspen University, CJ110, Introduction to Criminal Justice. This is Module 7, Discussion Question 1, which reads, compare the advantages and disadvantages of probation and parole. Include your opinion on how each is implemented and whether you think they accomplish what they set out to. So rather than me give a textbook answer and an opinion, I am going to try to locate what I had written earlier. So I see some parolees, and those are on probation in my work. A lot of them, like I'll stop a car and they'll be like, hey, I'm on parole or I'm on probation. Do you need to search the car? That kind of thing. And I'm not sure how I like how those individuals are treated by the system, their associates or police officers that are looking for an easy route to an arrest. They have limited rights as a parolee or someone on probation. While on probation or parole, a person does not have to be found guilty to have their conditions of release revoked, or as it's called, violated. They can actually be charged with something and then taken into custody, at least here in the state of Connecticut. They just have to be arrested for the crime, or their parole or probation officer has to find a stipulation the person violated. I had a case, and I found this out, I had a case where I arrested a guy for stalking a girl, and we went to the hearing for it. It wasn't a trial, it was a hearing, and we charged him with breach, stalking, and something else. Risk of injury to a minor, I think. And his attorney tried to argue that he had not been convicted of it. And the judge, who was a former defense attorney, said it doesn't need it. He just needs to be, we need to find probable cause to make the arrest, which we had shown. And he was remanded to custody for the remaining 20 years or whatever that was on his initial charge. So I have recently began an investigation for a parolee who has been locked up most of his adult life. During his time in prison, he completed college, successfully sued his public defender, became an artist, and he comes up with inventions that are actually bought by companies. He doesn't really share those with me. We've talked, we've had kind of more than just like straight business conversations. You find out about these guys to kind of find out whether or not they're lying, or, to get more information on your investigation. So his family and his child's mother's family and his associates have actually taken advantage of him while he was in prison. They've used his name to buy cars, they've secured a mortgage with his name, and they've received other forms of credit under his own name. His own mother stole $33,000 from him that he had given to her to hold on to from prison, as part of the money that he had been awarded for suing his public defender. Because I didn't know this until I talked to him, but in the state of Connecticut, if you can pay for your time in prison, they will take it from you. So rather than keep it in the bank in prison, he gave it to his mother and she went off and spent it. He tried to report it several times, but as a parolee, nobody really listens to him. He continually came to the police department for several reasons, child exchange, to meet with officers, and he and I developed some kind of rapport. I was working the desk at the time, and he would come in and we'd just kind of hang out and talk, and then he came in with this complaint. I had listened to his identity theft complaint, but never really took him seriously, because it was like crazy stuff. Like, this guy is driving around in my Mercedes, but I didn't buy it. He used my name to buy it. I finally followed up on one of the elements of his complaint and found out that he was not lying, which was this Mercedes. I opened up an investigation. Meanwhile, his family and his baby's mother's family found out about the investigation, and they filed a report that he was violating a domestic violence restraining order, and they had him rearrested, and he was sent to the other side of the state to await trial. While the design of parole and probation has a solid desire, the execution's absolutely horrible, at least in my experiences. State workers have too many clients and refuse to see beyond their work manuals. And while it's good to lower the prison population with early releases, the supervision and conditions for reincarceration need to be they need to be fixed. So let me know what you think about this. What is your opinion on parole or probation, and problems that you have seen or experienced, through friends or family or what have you. I would be interested in knowing about that.